This is Football Daft. We're feeling good. We're feeling groovy. It is Friday and it's podcast time. And it's time to talk to G4 Claims. And on the line now, we have none other than from G4 Claims HQ. It's Nicole. Nicole, how are we diddling?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Oh,
groovy.
Well,
We're all groovy here.
Spot on. We're on top. We're on the ball today, but we want to know more about G4 Claims.
What about groovy claims? Okay.
Is that what the G stands for?
Groovy four claims, man.
Groovy four claims.
I'm trademarking that.
So, guys, if you're involved in any sort of accident, phone G4 Claims first. We can help you from the roadside. Now, why would you contact your own insurance? Don't think for a minute that you can't be helped and you need to contact your own insurance. We can help you. And if we can, we'll point you in the right direction. Don't accept liability for an accident if you're not sure. Phone us first and let us help you. So we can provide you with a like-for-like replacement car. We can get your car either, if it's written off, we'll get you the value back for your car. And we'll make sure that it's a good value and you're covering all your finance and everything. We don't want you to be ever out of pocket. If your car is going to be repairable, we'll get it put into one of our approved body shops or you in a body shop of your choice, whatever you want to do with your car, because it's your car, it's your choice. We'll make sure that all of that's looked after. If you've suffered any sort of personal injury from the accident, we can help you with that as well. And everything we do for you is totally free of charge. Yes, I say it again, it is free of charge. We bill everything to the at-fault insurance. So guess what, guys? If you're involved in any sort of accident, by the way, we're getting calls, so I know yous are listening, and I love saying it every week. G4 Claims, not at-fault claims, made
Yay!
Groovy.
Now let's welcome to Football Daft a midfield magician who has one of the sweetest right foots in the Scottish game. He plied his trade with the likes of Killie, Partick Thistle and Dundee. It's one man every Scottish football would love to have had in their team. It's glorious Gary Harkins. Gary, how are we diddling this afternoon?
Much better after that intro, I'll tell you.
I'm good at that, mate. I'm learning. I'm learning, mate.
Hype up the guest.
That's what you've got to do, mate. But you know what? It's what I've just read there is completely true, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it really is. You really are a player. I felt as if, you know, even in forums and stuff like that. Who would you sign? Rangers and Celtic. A lot of people always used to bounce your name about quite often. Am I right, boys?
Right, absolutely.
Oh, 100%. Every time I see you, just skillful, mate. So skillful.
All right, Bobby's not going to shag you, man.
You never know.
Gary, sorry about the two, mate. This is
sorry.
See when I was buttering Gary up to try and get him on the show, I give him that spiel and all, and it's the truth, because do you know what? Do you know that way? If the question was asked, who would you sign outside the Celtic and Rangers for your team? Who would you sign? And a lot of my Rangers supporting pals said Gary Harkins, but I used to take great fucking pleasure in saying Gary Harkins would never play for you bastards. Never. In 100 million year.
Is that right, Gary? I need to go now, mate.
Aye, man, I'm off,
cheers,
man.
Thanks a lot, Gary, mate. Cheers.
Right, we'll just do a sing song, Gary.
So, Gary, you've retired, obviously, recently. Yeah. You still going to be involved at junior level and stuff?
Not at all, no. I've just stopped enjoying it, so much happier having a bit of time with myself at the weekends and heading up the hills with a girlfriend and that, so I'm quite happy.
Heading up the hills?
I like a wee hill walk.
Yeah, you climb Goat Fell? Have you climbed Goat Fell?
No.
You've never been to Arran? No?
I've not been to Arran yet, no.
You should try Goat Fell, mate.
You need to go to Arran.
Credo's walked up one hill in his life and he's trying to pass it off as if he knows everything.
And I like catching you there. What kind of house is it? Ben Lomond and all that kind of shit? Aye, you're into.
You've been up Tinto.
Aye. See, I like your hill walking. That's interesting. So I take it. But what I suppose what I really want to ask you is, why were you not enjoying football anymore? It's weird you said that. It was like, no, I hate football.
I played it for 20 years. Then obviously you start dropping the divisions a bit, and it's not as enjoyable, especially the type of player I am or was. It's not as enjoyable. Do you know what I mean? I enjoyed playing at a higher level, having an ambition to play at a higher level. You've got good players around about you. Once I got a bit older, you end up like probably thinking you can do more than the manager as well. So it became a job instead of actually something I was really enjoying to do. So I decided that was enough for me.
But see, you still watch football, no? Do you like
I watch it.
Aye.
Oh wait, man, do you still
disregard football completely now, don't bother it.
No, but there is, man, buddy. What's his name that played with Spurs, man? What's his name? David Bentley. He retired and says he doesn't even watch football. Doesn't even watch it.
Transplants went to your knee.
That's as
I
bad
fucking
as
hope
me.
so, mate.
By the way, that was every bit as bad as. Have you always liked football when you were away?
Well, Credo skipped that, man. I meant to do that at the start of every show, so I thought I'd have something different, man.
Tell me this one, Gary. Do you still play fives with your mates?
Well, since I retired, we've not been able to meet up with your mates. Never mind play football.
That's true. Aye, that's true. Do you not get them round the back like that, Greg Wild, and get a wee kick about it?
Greg couldn't run out his back garden, can he? Not enough room for him.
Here, see, it's funny when you were talking there about, maybe managers that you were coming across near the end of your career. Was there some managers that you probably had more experiences as well, and I suppose it was probably difficult for you to take their direction and stuff like that? You're thinking behind their back, man, what's he talking about?
No, it's like I never really had any inexperienced managers. It's just when obviously you've been in the game a long time, you work out what you think works and what you want to do, and then you go into, like, say, training sessions and games, and you're not doing the things that you think you should be doing, so it just kind of annoys you. Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
Especially if you're not winning, or if things aren't going very well, you're thinking this is rubbish, and it gets you down. I've never been one to like try and cause a problem in the dressing room with that, so I'm not like, you don't bring it up, but it does kind of annoy you.
Aye. How did you sign for Blackburn? What happened? What was the story behind that?
I was at Celtic Youth when I was younger, and the guy John McKenna used to come to the games and watch, and then it obviously comes to the time where you're leaving youth and you're going either into apprentices. So he phoned me, said, did I fancy a week trial down at Blackburn? Went down to Blackburn for a week and just loved it. See, just the difference in facilities and stuff like that you had down there compared to even at Celtic at the time. If you were going in full time, you were jumping on a minibus and going to like Glasgow Green or St Aloysius to train. It's not like it is now where they've got Lennoxtown. When I went to Blackburn, it was like we lived on the training ground. Like you stayed with one of the boys in a room in the training ground that you could use the gym at night, you could use the football pitches, it was just a lot. It just seemed so much better to go and try and get better as a footballer there than what it would be up here.
How does that work? See, like you're saying there that you lived on the training ground. Is that not a bit like fucking never leaving the office? I mean, you couldn't exactly bring a bird back to the training ground, could you?
That was frowned upon at that time anyway, because you were only 16. So they weren't encouraging you to get and bring birds back. What
was Souness like, Gary? What about Graham Souness? What was he like to play under?
Oh, he was brilliant. So that was like the thing. I didn't get to see much of them, but I did train with them quite a bit, and obviously played with the reserves and stuff when he was there. And like when I was at Blackburn, I was basically a hard tackling midfielder who passed the ball to I was told when I was a YTS to pass the ball to the good players. So that's kind of what I went in to do when I was there. So Souness loved me because I just got about smashing people. So at that point, but it was always one that I knew that's not how I wanted to play football, and I knew I could kind of do a bit more. So as time went on, it was Ian McCall that actually allowed me to go and do that.
Aye. Did you play with Paul Weaver? Was he doing at Blackburn with you?
I did play with Weaves, yeah.
He's been doing well, aye.
I know Weaves well, aye.
Aye, that's right. Is it just the two years that were doing? And then obviously was Barry down there as well? Was that the three Scottish?
No, there was quite a lot of Scottish boys down there. Ian Black was there at the time.
Really? I didn't even know
Was
that.
he?
Well, Blackie was there. Alan Morgan, Adam Nelson as well as an R couple. Big Kieran Renton. So there was quite a few Scottish boys down there at the time. So it was a good wee group.
How good what? See, when you're down there and you're playing with like Barry Ferguson and Tug Guy, how good were they, mate? Like, were you learning so much after they two?
Oh, brilliant. Like Fergie, I think before he got his injury, was running the show week in, week out. Like, he could have went to any of the teams down there with the way he was playing and ran the show in midfield. He was brilliant to watch. And just the way he would control games. Like, it didn't matter who he was against, he was running the show. Do you know what I mean? It was good to watch.
So were you at Blackburn when Celtic got them in Europe?
Yes.
You must have had a fucking field day, boy.
I was in a Celtic end.
I know the best part, Gary. I was in the Blackburn end. At Ewen Park, right? And
I get quite a few of my pals' tickets, so we all were in the Celtic end. So it was awkward when everybody was shouting penis at my gaffer, right enough.
That's brilliant, man.
I heard it was you that started it.
No, I wasn't that stupid or brave.
I remember that, man. Fucking, I trust you to bring it up. Total Celtic against Blackburn, man.
Yeah, that's one of my favourite trips ever, going down to Blackburn. It was like a clandestine trip. Had to pick up tickets in a wee pub in the middle of Blackburn off of some guy for the town. I was shitting myself the whole time. It was brilliant, but...
See, you were talking about Ian McCall there. What was he like as a manager? You worked with him at Partick Thistle, and I believe you also worked at the same time with my very good friend, Arbroath captain Ricky Little.
That's right.
You came, Ricky?
He was a young boy.
Yes, he was, and he used to tell me stories. He used to tell us about you, and I'd go, how's Gary Harkins getting on and all that. It was great.
No, he was a very quiet wee guy then.
He's still quite quiet. Grado,
man, are you like his agent now or something?
No, he's trying to get my move.
Every fucking guest that comes on, he somehow tangles a story into Ricky Little.
No, I'll not be wrangling him a move because he's going to get a testimonial at Arbroath in the next couple of years. I might be involved in it, so...
You'll get involved in it.
I'd probably try to get you along and all, man. That'd be quite good because you were part of his early career, you know.
I'll play in goals.
But anyway, Ian McCall.
Ian McCall.
So I played him. I played under McCall at Thistle twice now, and then at Ayr as well. And as I said, when I first went to Thistle, he was the one that moved me for centre half and centre mid to be able to play a bit forward and go and express myself and show what I could do on the football pitch. So I'm thankful to him for that. So he was great with me at the time. So no, I enjoyed playing under him.
You always hear stories like he's such a character, didn't you? I'd love to get him on and talk to him. So I've always heard these. Have you got any funny stories about him, mate? Like any eccentric things he done in training?
About McCall?
Aye.
Not really. We used to go to training. And we used to train quite near, like a few miles away from Firhill at times. And it'd be like, right, training's finished, right, you need to run back. So you'd go up in the minibus and then the coach would take the thing back. And one of the days, it was like, it'd been pouring, there was flooding. So as the boys are all running through, obviously you're running through at different times. McCall's driving through big puddles and just soaking you and then turning round and trying to soak you again the way back.
Sounds like fucking Jock Wallace or something, man. Sounds like something he'd do, man. That is brilliant.
Gary, look, you, like Michelle and Grado, have had a bit of fucking criticism about your weight and not working hard enough as a footballer. Do you think that maybe held you back in your career a wee bit?
What, my weight or the criticism?
No, the fact that folk had an opinion about you.
I don't know. I think mine came from my time at Kilmarnock. The gaffer at the time used to just take me off at 60 minutes. So people get the perception that you can't play the 90 minutes.
Aye.
But up until that point, I'd never had a problem in my life playing 90 minutes. I never had a problem in my life playing 90 minutes then. It was just the manager's decision to take you off. And that's when people think, oh, he must be tired or he can't last 90 minutes.
Aye.
Whereas I never ever had that issue. It kind of, that criticism's always annoyed me because I've never been a natural athlete. Like, I was getting beat off the fat kids at school, like when we were running. Do you know what I mean? So I've had to work harder than what most of the players who are all natural and they've been winning their sports days and stuff to be able to keep playing. And then obviously to do it for 20 years, you can't do that if you're lazy or you don't work. Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
So you weren't even a big eater or anything like that, no?
No, later.
You know what question's coming next. Grado's going to ask you what your favourite dinner is.
I was going to ask you what you had for your dinner last night.
What did I had pizza last night.
Did you? What, 2 for Tuesdays?
No, Domino's.
I don't know what anybody gets a pizza out with. On what day is this? This is Wednesday. Aye, so it would have been Tuesday yesterday. Where did you get pizza?
You got a real pizza, like a proper pizza.
Do you don't like Domino's?
No, I don't. Like, you feel terrible.
You do, man. You feel as if
Domino's is overrated and overpriced, man.
I see what you mean with a pizza as well.
I see what you mean. My favourite pizzas have got to be that pure, like fucking, what would you say, middle class kebab shop, fucking, do you know what I mean? Spicy chicken, pepperoni.
Do you know what my favourite is? Asda's pizzas. See the ones that they make at the
Co-op ones are good, I know, mate. You're right.
Morrison's number. You've got to be Morrison's number, don't you?
But what I'm saying is, I'm saying middle class because, you know, like, you get that Pisano kind of skier, do you know what I mean? Where it's like the fancy kind of...
It's got lettuce and all that on it.
It's got like mozzarella and, you know, it's like in circles and all that, and it's no...
you want a cheese slice.
You do. You want a big fucking... A big
cheese slice heated up with a hairdryer.
That's put me in the mood, man. That's put me in the mood.
So listen...
Grado, you want to go now, mate? You're all right. Me and Toll keep going.
Gary, you're sitting here and you're talking away to Grado. Obviously, you know Grado is one of the greatest wrestlers that's ever laced up a pair of bits. Yeah, you're a bit of a wrestling fan yourself.
I used to like the old WWE back in the day, aye.
Right.
Back when I was younger,
talk me through that celebration when you nearly fucking killed Jim McAllister.
Oh no, Jim McAllister nearly killed me.
Oh, is it the other way about, was it?
It was the other way about.
What happened?
No, I think it was that time where it was at Vine. Was that? That was going to put, and it was that out of nowhere. Like,
you RKO'd him.
Aye, so we
Jim
said before the game. I just said before the game, if it happens, like if you score or something like that, we'll do it. And I was like, right, no bother. Thinking that's fine. So I think I scored, and then like I've obviously seen Jim coming. Next minute RKO, and I didn't actually think it would have kicked off the way it did. It was mad.
Just a wee bit of advice, mate. Don't try this at home,
Leave it to the professionals.
I know that you say that, the Vine, I do actually remember that now.
Aye.
Did it not make Soccer M and all that, no?
Aye. Randy Orton.
It was a big deal, wasn't it?
Aye, Randy Orton put a tweet out about it or something.
Aye, Randy Orton. Aye, told us to work. Aye, he tweeted us saying working our form or something like that.
Brilliant, by the way. That's superb, man. That's brilliant. That's So what is it? How was your time at the Usher, Kelly? Tell us about that.
Oh, it was great. It's a cracking dressing room. Some really good players in it. Probably, I would say we underachieved. I think we had a really good side there, and should have finished up the league more. But winning that CIS Cup and then doing all right in the league, no, I really enjoyed it.
No, I'm looking at here and it's saying something about new club and Rangers. What's that shite I'm reading? What did you say?
I was going to bring that up there and on. Go, Gary, do you want to talk us through that, mate? You
might retracting that.
I'm not retracting it, but
you don't need to, man. We know all that fucking banter, didn't we?
How come he's not bringing it up? How come he's not bringing it up, then?
Because producer John's put it in the notes.
Because. By the way, you were fucking 100% right there.
This is like, honestly, Gary, this is like the best Toll's ever felt because he's actually got somebody in his side this week, know what I mean?
He's usually greeting by this point in the podcast.
It's always Rangers supporters and ex-Rangers players are fucking whatever, honestly.
So Gary, talk us through your comment you made about the 55 times champions of Scotland.
1 times.
Don't start your shite!
Come on!
Yeah, you've made another comment now, fuck's sake.
It's front of the Daily Record tomorrow, Gary boy. You're beauty.
You'll be up that fucking hill on Saturday, man. You'll be like, let's phone you prick, you've seen the fucking podcast. How are you doing this hill?
Make it down this hill, there's cunts coming up the other side.
Right, so talk us through what happened, Gary.
Right, so we played Kelly, I think, at the weekend. We had Rangers coming up in the cup. And as I was walking in, like, I got on, or I did get on well with most of the reporters and stuff, and I would be laughing and joking. As I walked in, somebody said to me, "Oh, so you're looking forward to playing Rangers?" And I was like, I just laughed and joked. I've never played them before, so I'm looking forward to it, just with a chuckle. Right, so then I then went on to the interview, nothing said about it, just like, just interview about the game and then about going to Ibrox and that was it done. And then like that night, I think my phone actually just blew up because the Daily Record decided that that was going to be the front and back page that I'd come out with that one.
Did it make the front and back page? Aye, was it?
Aye, so that was a good crack.
It's a laugh, innit? It's a joke, innit?
I laugh. I did laugh at it.
Well, man.
You know what? See that kind of stuff. That's what football's all about. The banter.
Exactly. Get over it. Do you know what I mean? It's a carry on. It's a laugh.
Aye.
Absolutely right.
Aye.
So after was this when you were playing at Dundee?
Aye, at Dundee.
So what was that like? See when you went to Dundee, how did you find it after like where you had been previously and stuff like that?
Okay, I love Dundee. I think that's been my favourite place to play. Just when I went up there, the fans and everyone took to me right away. My manager at the time, Jotty Scott, was amazing. Like, just with how he was with me and how he was with the boys. So no, I loved my time there. 3 times I went back. So you don't keep going somewhere if you're not enjoying it. So no, I loved it back there.
What's the funniest thing you've ever see happen in a football changing room?
What time's this going on at?
It's on
the internet, mate. You can see whatever the fuck you want.
Aye, man.
Aye.
Come on.
Apart from slagging Rangers and that again, guy, you've done enough of that. You know what I mean?
I don't know. It's a.
What's the worst thing you've ever saw? What's the craziest thing you've ever saw in a dressing room?
Fuck's sake, Grado, give one question.
I know.
4 different questions in like 14 seconds.
Sorry,
nicest dressing room you've ever been in?
The nicest dressing room. I'll find it hard to pick a funniest one. I think one of the things I do remember, I was at Dundee and it was Gordon Chisholm was the manager, and we get beat away at Brecon, and he came in and was going mental, launched the kettle. So kettle everywhere. A couple of days later, we got a bill through because we'd ended up with a kettle in one of our bags and we stole our kettle.
That should have been in the front page of the fucking paper, Gary.
A few, and Chiz as well. Big Craig McEwen. Chiz used to wear these North Face trainers because he's like dodgy knees and that, so these North Face trainers instead of boots. And Big Craig McEwen super glued them to the corridor floor as well, so they were out of commission for a while.
You know, it's funny you're saying, but that Dundee was your favourite club to go to. I don't know. I thought it would have been Kelly with a cup, winning a cup. No.
No, obviously.
Cool, man.
There you go, Grado. That's that question answered.
Oh, man.
Tell me this, man. Was that obviously you started off at Celtic, right? But with your reputation through Scottish football, like we said before, was there ever any like option? Were any of the so-called big teams like your Celtic, Rangers, Hibs, Hearts, Aberdeen? Did any of them ever show an interest or come in and try and sign you?
Aye, there was interest a couple of times. We played Rangers in the Scottish when I was at Partick Thistle at Ibrox, and we drew 1 each, and I think I set up the goal. And after that, I remember we were playing, was it St Johnstone away, and we get pumped 3-0. McCall took me off after 60 minutes. I wasn't very good. I get towels and everyone launched at me after that game. So I was going home, I was going out that night. I was younger, so I was going the night out, got a phone call from McCall again. And I was like, all right, Gaffer, how are you? And he's like, aye, how are you? And I was like, I'm all right, a bit down after today. He's like, I'm phoning to make you feel worse. Rangers were there watching you today and you had a shocker. So.
Oh, fuck. Would you went to Rangers? Would you went, Gary?
I heard you get tipped off before it, and that's why you played shite.
You
Would you went, Gary, if you got to move? Aye.
Would I have went? Aye. Like, unless I'd have phoned Celtic first. Like, listen.
Here's the deal.
Any chance? No. Obviously, you want to play as a footballer. I've always wanted to play as high a level as I could. And if I could have went to the second biggest team in Scotland, I'd have went no bother.
Yeah, beauty. I'm fucking lapping this up. This is magic.
Oh.
Yeah, see that game? I'm sure I was at that game. Did I not go to a replay with Rangers and Partick?
Replay.
I remember that.
That's normally what happens in the cup if it finishes
No,
straight.
no, I know, but I remember it. Who was the Partick Thistle player that was dead wee? Was it Stevie somebody?
Stevie Murray.
Stevie Murray.
Stevie Murray, that's right. I remember him here the good game that night. I remember that.
That's right.
Stevie Murray always played well against Rangers. He's a dyed in the wool, Tim. Stevie, so he is, aye.
Is
he always...
You going to get him on next week too?
I actually know Stevie. His brother used to be my postman. I'm not even kidding, but his brother Anton.
Right, and we seen you at this pub.
Aye, he was actually, you fucking wido.
So, Gary, looking back, man, obviously you've had, I'm trying to just break the two up, they're going to start fighting again, you know what I mean? Looking back on your career, Gary, all the managers, like Ian McCall stuff, who's the best and who's the worst managers you've worked under?
The best managers I've worked under, well, as I said, I loved my time with Jockey. Jim Duffy was brilliant. That was coming towards the end of my career. I still don't know why nobody's given him a bigger job recently. He's top drawer. Worst managers? I don't know if I can.
You can say it's all right, mate.
Aye, come for you too, that's fine.
We want the dirt. We want the fucking dirt, man.
I know. Obviously, there's just some managers you don't go on with, isn't there?
Aye.
That computer, man.
So, I don't, like, obviously there's a few that were not very good for me, but there was a guy, Alan Buckley at Grimsby, and I hated that guy, man.
That's how you really feel, mate.
I get off that fence, Gary.
He used to just, like, make things hard for me, and I remember we're playing two-touch one day, and he proper tried to volley a ball at me, like, as hard as he could with his little foot. And I just...
His little foot?
So he's obviously...
How little was his foot?
So I just popped the ball back up and I volleyed it right off his dish, and that was one of my favourite days.
Oh, my story, man, it's brilliant.
So obviously, as time went on there, like, he was making things that I was getting in squad, and I was running myself like every day. He was sending me running or training with kids. So one of the days, like, at Grimsby, we had this wee training ground, and the wee bit where you would go in and get dinner after it, and it looked out onto the pitch. So he was in there having his dinner, and I think I'd just finished, like, probably an hour running drill. And he'd left his car open. So I took the handbrake off his car.
What?
And just started pushing it by the window for the other side. Left it on the pitch and went home. So that went down well.
But, Gary, apart from all that, was you all right? But
I knew. I hope he's doing well now.
Oh, Gary.
That's brilliant.
Just before we move on to the quiz here, what's your plans? What's next for you? Are you planning getting back into football, maybe coaching or managing or anything like that?
Not at the moment, no. I got a couple of offers to go back playing there when the league started again, but I've not missed it, to be honest. It's been a long time where it takes up your whole life, do you know what I mean? So I've been quite happy. I'm not saying, like, in the future I'll maybe not want to go into coaching or something like that, but at the moment I've not really any plans on going back in it at all.
I can see Gary on the bench, man. Alan Buckley's assistant. Know what I mean?
Aye.
Right.
What's your brother doing? Is your brother still playing football?
No, he was the same as me. He was at Cairn with me there, but with the league kind of going ski with, he's not playing at the moment. I'm not sure if he's going to go back playing junior next year, but he was some player. He was unlucky not to go higher.
Aye, I thought that. I know, that's right. Christ.
Well,
Gary, we really appreciate you coming on. See, at the end of every interview, we do a wee 90-second Scottish football quiz. You good for that?
Right. Aye, go for it.
Right, so recently we've had some brilliant attempts at it, to be honest with you. David Martindale was on a couple of weeks ago, and he's at the top of the tree with 16 correct answers.
yeah.
In joint second, we've got John Sutton and Chick Young with 15. We've got Mark Wilson and Keith Lasley tucked in behind them with 14. Other selected scores include Alan Archibald on 11, Lawrence Shankland on 7, and Andy Gray on 6. At the bottom, it's a tie between Peter Livencrans, Derek Johnson, Craig Levine, and Mick Supatalainen. They're all sitting on 3.
Why
You know
don't
what
we-
Dano's going to say? Barry for
I don't
EastEnders.
get why we don't put that fucking Barry for EastEnders got 4. Why is that no in there?
Barry Feast, Barry for EastEnders get 4, mate.
Aye.
On a Scottish football quiz.
I know.
Aye, you done well, mate.
And the thing is, Grado's making a big deal going, why are we not putting Barry in there? And Gary's sitting going, cool, man, I don't give a fuck. Barry for EastEnders was on.
I'm just trying to work out how much Barry for EastEnders had to say about Scottish football. That's quality.
By the
I
way,
know.
well, let me tell you a story. See, he is interested, Bob. I know you can't see me, or you can't see you, but listen, he's a quiz master. He reads
Aye.
loads of quiz books and goes on. He was on the chase on Sunday
He
night.
got
and he
what to
done
get
it.
120 grand on the chase or something, didn't
So so he was like, Rangers are 14 points ahead, and Hibs top scorers Kevin Nisbet and all this. He was good.
Stuff, by the way, he really did know his stuff.
Aye.
Aye, so I
Probably.
think he's a bit of a swot when it comes to like sports and stuff. So he did know.
And he only got 4, so
Aye. That's true, actually.
Aye, man, he's fucking brilliant, man. He's great. He's so brainy.
I know the best part is the 4 questions he got were about EastEnders.
so are these just random questions, or are they all the same?
No, they're questions about Scottish football, mate. So they're pretty. You should be all right. You should be all right.
But you've got 90 seconds, Gary, but you can't pass. Even if you don't know the answer, you must give a answer.
Answer.
Right?
Right.
Aye.
Right,
Okie doke.
so I'm gonna start the questions. John, if we get 90 seconds on the clock,
Certainly have.
right, and your time starts now. Which Scottish side did Leicester player James Maddison play with on loan?
Aberdeen.
What team did you get your only under 21 cap against?
I never got an under 21 cap.
Who's made more overall appearances for Rangers, Alan McGregor or Stephen Davis?
Alan McGregor.
Well, who was the second club Blackburn loaned you out to?
Bury.
Other than Hibs, name any Scottish club Jackson Irving's played for.
Ross County.
Name either scorer for Scotland in the World Cup group matches. In the World Cup 98 group matches.
Oh, 98. Simon Donnelly.
Who was the only permanent Hamilton manager immediately before Brian Rice?
Jason Scotland, no idea.
How many league appearances did you make for Steny?
3.
Shea Logan has joined which championship side on loan?
Arts.
Which club does Scotland international Callum Patterson play for?
Cardiff.
Which Scottish Premiership?
Oh, Sheffield Wednesday.
Which Scottish Premiership side features a steelwork on their club crest?
Motherwell.
In what year did you have your second spell at Dundee?
2015.
Alphabetically, which Scottish Premiership team comes after Aberdeen?
Cove.
Which club does Jason Cummings currently play for?
Dundee.
Dundee, you got that one right.
Do you know what, Gary? See, after your comments about Rangers, I'm glad you got that one right a minute ago.
No,
It was
Albion
Celtic, mate.
Oh,
It was Celtic, mate.
What, in the
Scottish
Premier?
Premier-
Which
Scottish
Scottish Premiership
Premiership.
team comes
I'm
after
not listening to the questions.
Here, John, you need to sort these questions out. It's embarrassing you didn't get an under 21 cap. You're writing that in the thing.
I know, what's that about?
Where'd you get
I've
that
got to
from?
get a point for that.
Gary,
You do get a point because you answered it correctly.
I'll give you a bonus point for that because I'd left that in from last week, so apologies for that.
For fuck's sake, man.
I'll go through the wrong answers for you. You got off the flyer despite the under 21 cap.
I'm like, why did we not speak to him about getting another 21 squad?
Scorers for Scotland in the World Cup 98 group matches. You could either have John Collins, which was against Brazil, or Craig Burley against Norway. No, it's Simon Donnelly, unfortunately. Martin Canning was the Hamilton manager before
That's
Brian Rice. You got it. I have to accept your first answer. It was Sheffield Wednesday that Callum Patterson played for, not Cardiff.
Right.
Wait a minute, at no point
You
did
never
we
ever
say
said
we
at any
need-
point
Aye,
that had to be my first answer.
aye, he's right.
Oh, yeah, that's how quizzes work. You can't give a wrong answer and then give a right answer.
Well,
No,
you've done it before.
Aye,
Oh,
but
not
quizzes
having that.
usually have the right questions in it as well.
Yeah,
You answer questions to me.
Yeah, Toe, I didn't see you back Andy Gorham up like this when he got a few right.
I can't go him up against a wall.
Right, I'm not going to give you that one. Second spell at Dundee, I've got 2013 down. I think was your second spell. Aye, and alphabetically, which Scottish Premiership team comes after Aberdeen? It's Celtic. But you did all right, mate. Giving you that bonus one at the start. 9.
Well played, Gary. That's
alright.
good shout.
That's
That's
good.
well.
Yeah.
Gary, cheers, mate. We really appreciate you coming on, but mate, I appreciate it, bud. Thank
Thanks
you.
very much, Gary.
No
I
worries.
appreciate it.
Thanks
man.
for having us,
Thanks,
lads.
all the
Cheers.
best,
Right,
mate.
all the best, pal. Right, take care.
Cheers.